Hi everyone. Yeah, I guess we are live. So Parnavi, you can start.
Okay. Good morning and hello, everybody. We welcome you all to this workshop on Introduction to Git and Github, which is a part of SheHacks DTU, the 3-day all-women hackathon organized by Climb DTU. This workshop will be conducted by Soumya Singh. Soumya is currently working as a software engineering intern at Red Hat organization. She was the project manager at Girl Script Foundation. Soumya has also won various competitions like Smart India Hackathon and Google Connect 2019. She was a finalist of the prestigious International Red Hat Award and also won past GHCI Scholar. We are really glad to have her here with us today and hope her vast knowledge in open source will prove beneficial to all of you. Ma'am, please.
Thank you so much for the beautiful introduction, Parnavi. So let's get started. I'm going to share my screen and yes, perfect. So I hope my screen is visible to all of you. Nice. So, hello everyone once again, and today I will be teaching you the basics of Git and GitHub. I'll make sure that after this session, you are very efficient, you are very comfortable in pushing your projects, pushing your like awesome projects that you will be developing in today, like in this amazing hackathon on GitHub. And at the same time, I will try to take out time and explain you how to make your first PR on any open source project that you love. So let's get started. So this is my introduction. She has already, our host has already given the introduction, so I'll not emphasize more on this part. Let's move ahead and talk more about what we are going to learn in today's workshop. So before starting the demo, the first thing that I want is from all of you, from all the participants of this hackathon, that do follow along with me. Whatever steps I will be doing here, make sure that you are following the same step. And by the end of this session, I will give you one assignment with the help of which I will also understand that how much knowledge you got from this session, from this demo that I will be giving. All right. So the prerequisite, the things that we need before getting started for this workshop is number one, you should have your GitHub account ready. Now, this is very simple. Let me show you if you want me to explain how to do that. So, you just have to type github.com and you will see the button sign up for GitHub here, or you can click the sign up button over there on the top as well. So they will ask you for some basic details of yours. You have to fill your username, email, password, and these are really very simple. It's as simple as it appears. So you have to create your GitHub account. I have already created my account. If I go on GitHub, so this is my GitHub account, and I contribute to open source projects. I show my projects like Android projects, web projects here on GitHub. So similarly, when you will create your account, you will see an interface, a UI like this on the screen. These are the sections on GitHub, like repository section. The projects that you will push on GitHub, they will appear here in the repository section. And yes, like once you will create your account, you will understand the UI. It's very simple and easy to understand. I will explain you each and everything, so don't worry about it. And by the end, I will try to take questions from you all. So this is step number one for this workshop, that you have to create your GitHub account. You should have your GitHub account ready. If you have not done that, so make sure that you create it now. You create it today, because having a GitHub account is really very important if you are a developer. It's a very good place. It's a very nice platform to showcase your projects, to showcase your what skills you possess. Like you can, if you are very much into web development, so you can push your HTML, CSS, JS related projects on GitHub, and people will get to know that okay, you know these skills, these technologies, and that's how you are able to make projects and push projects on GitHub, right? So after making an account, making your GitHub account, step number 2 is you have to install Git on your system. Now let me show you how to do that. You just based on what operating system you are using, based on what machine you are using, uh, like steps are different. So you just have to write download Git, and you will see here, like if you're on Windows, if you're on Linux or Mac, these steps are very much simple and easy to follow. Okay, so I have already Git installed on my system. You just have to follow these steps what they have written. Like if you're in Linux, you just have to run these commands which they have mentioned here, right? So it's pretty much simple, very simple. And how you will verify that you have your Git installed on your system? So just open up the terminal, and if you will write Git, so it will not say like not recognized or something. They will show you like a lot of information that what are the commands on commands supported by Git, like clone, init, like add, commit. These are the commands that they support. So once in your terminal, if you will write Git, so they will show you these many things, and it help you to understand, to verify that you have downloaded Git successfully in your system. So with that, I hope that you all have your GitHub account ready. You have installed Git in your machine. So let's get it started, and we are of course ready to go. We now you have to just follow the steps, follow what I am doing on my system, right? And before that, this is just a comparison of what Git and GitHub are. So you already know, like GitHub is hosted on cloud. Like what we see here, this is GitHub, right? It's the website where we show our projects. It's where we contribute to open source projects, right? And if we talk about Git, so Git at the very heart of GitHub, there is an open source version control system, and that version control system is Git. Now let me explain you what Git will do for you. So you know that you have to install Git. I just explained that based on your system, based on your operating system, you will install Git, right? And Git help you to monitor, to keep a track of each and everything happening in your system related to GitHub. Like if you're contributing to, let's say, an open source project, so like which commit is made by which contributor, what are the commit messages, all the details of GitHub are like you can track them with the help of Git. And that's why I asked you to install Git. This is really very important. So your GitHub account and Git in your system, these are the two things that you need for this workshop. Now the first thing that we will be learning today is, let's say you will be creating amazing, awesome projects in this hackathon. You will be creating some web, Android, ML related projects, right? And let's say after the hackathon is over, you want to show to the world that I developed this project in this hackathon, right? If you have your great projects only in your system, only in your local machine, how will everyone know that you are so awesome in developing such great projects? To show the world, to tell the people that okay, you have developed this project that do this and that. So for that, you have to push your project on GitHub, right? So for that, let's what I'm going to do, I will create a sample, a very like easy website, and I will try to push that on my GitHub account. So with that, you will understand what the process is of pushing your project on GitHub. So let's get started. I'm going to create a new project over here, and let's click on next, and let's name it sample demo project. Now I will try to go slowly so that like you understand each and everything. Okay. Yeah. So the project is getting built, and you just have to follow the steps which I will be following on my machine. It's really very simple. There are 4 to 5 commands which you have to write on your terminal, and that's it. Okay. The only thing you need is your GitHub account, and Git should be installed. So in the SRC, let's create one small and simple HTML file. Let's name it hello. Perfect. Here we will give the title climb DTU. And let's give here the heading. Let's write hello from hackathon. Perfect. Now if you see it on browser, so here it is, hello from hackathon, right? The project is ready. I know that I created it in like downloads and then sample demo project. This is the project which I want to push on my GitHub. Okay. So what I will do is there are 2 ways you can use the terminal, which is here in your IDE, or if you don't want to use it, you can obviously go on terminal here. So I will go to downloads, and the project name is sample demo project. So I will click here. Now here, if I will write git, so the project has not been I have not created any project right now. Okay. So from here you have to look at my screen very carefully. Okay. Let me increase the font size. Perfect. Now I hope it's perfectly visible to you all. So I will write here git init. What this command will do, this is step number 1. This will initialize an empty Git repository. Okay. And with once I write this command, so you will see a new .git folder over here. Like this is my sample demo project which I just created in front of you, right? So once I run the command git init, so this .git folder will be created. Okay. Now after that, let's jump over to GitHub. So yeah, let's go to my profile, and here at the top you have to click on this plus icon, and you have to click on new repository, because you are going to create one new project, one new repository, right? So in the repository name, let's write demo for climb DTU. I'm going to write that. Obviously you should give meaningful names to your projects, like which tell the people what the project is doing, right? So demo for climb DTU, and I will keep this public. Private means the world cannot see your project, right? And I will click on create repository. So it will show me an interface like this. Now what you have to do, here on the terminal, I have already initialized a Git repository, right? So one way is you simply copy all the stuff here and paste on the terminal. But I want to explain each and everything one by one. So step number 1 is git init. After that, I want to tell my machine, my local machine, that whatever project I created, that should be shown on this URL, right? So for that, you just have to tell that you just have to add a remote here. You just have to paste this command, and now if you will run git remote, so it will tell you that just a minute, the spelling is incorrect. So if you will run here git remote, so you can see you have origin ready. Now what origin is, to see the detail, you will write git remote v. So origin means this URL. Whatever I will create, whatever code I will write here in my project, everything will be pushed on this URL. That's why we added this URL, this remote URL here on the terminal. Okay. So I hope this much part is clear. I'm not looking at the questions or doubt section. I will try to take them up by the end of the session. Okay. So step number one, git init, and step number two, you have to add the remote URL. Okay, so this is the URL where all the code that you are writing will be pushed. Okay, after that, let me clear the screen. Yeah, so once you have done that, to check what is the status, like how many files you have created, how many files are already pushed, how much files are left, like are not added or committed. So git status tell you the status that you have these many files and these are yet not added. They are asking me to add it. So for adding the files, you just have to write a simple command, git add. And if you want to add all these files, then you can write like dot. This will add all your files. And if you want to add a particular file, let's say src, so you will say git add src slash. Okay, so right now I want to add the whole project. I want to add the complete project, so git add dot. Once you have added everything, the next step is you have to commit. You have to make a commit. So how do we do that? Git commit and here you have to write the commit message. I always advise to write meaningful commit messages so that other developers who are contributing on the same project can get a better idea that what you did in this commit. So right now I will write initial commit. This is my first commit, and with this commit I am pushing my complete project. All right, so with this I created a commit. So it's git add and then commit. Very simple, very easy. Now, after that, after add and commit, what you have to do, you have to use the push command. So you will say git push. And where do you want to push? You want to push on the URL, which is origin. You know what origin is. Origin is the short name for that URL, right? For which URL, you can check that from here. Once you will write git remote v, so you can check here. I want to push everything on this URL, right? On origin. Origin is short for this URL. So just write git push and origin, and what is the branch where you want to push. So you can check the current branch with the help of git branch command. So right now you can see I only have one branch, master. So I will say git push and origin, right? Origin is that URL, and what's the name of the branch? The branch is master branch. So I will do that, and now you can see if I will refresh it here. So you can see everything is here, right? Like the project is now available on GitHub. This is my username, Soumya Singh 1, and after that I created this project which is available here on GitHub. So this is very, very simple. I hope now you can push your project on GitHub. There are very simple commands that we have to follow for this purpose, right? Perfect. Now let's see if there are some doubts coming. Okay, yes. So after that, what we have to do is we will learn how to make a pull request on GitHub. Okay. So for that, of course, prerequisites are same. You want your GitHub account, and along with that you want your git installed, right? VCS install in your system. So let's try to before jumping into contributing to any open source projects, there are some points which I want to discuss. Like before directly jumping into open source, I want to explain like what is open source, and why should you contribute to open source, right? Before doing anything, it's important to understand what that thing is. So let me tell you what open source is. Open source refers to anything which anyone can modify and share, because its code, its design is publicly available out there, right? For example, like there are many big products, many big projects that we use in our daily life, and they are open source, like Mozilla Firefox, Eclipse, Quarkus, Fedora. There are many open source projects, and you just have to write, let's say you want to contribute to some projects of Mozilla. So what you will do is you will simply write here, let's say Mozilla Firefox GitHub, and they will show you the websites. Like Mozilla is a GitHub organization. Mozilla is there as an organization on GitHub, and there you can check their projects. You can put the filters, like if you are good in let's say C++ or like JavaScript, so you can put the filter here based on your interest, and they will show you relevant projects. So yes, you can contribute to these projects, and how to do, like how to contribute, I will show you in a short while. So before jumping into the demo, let's understand why, where, and how to contribute to open source. The first question that comes to mind is, who is this for? So open source is for everyone. It does not matter if you are a high school student, if you are in college, or if you're a working professional. Anyone can contribute to open source. The only thing you need is the enthusiasm, the eagerness to contribute. And it's not must to be a coder to contribute to open source projects. You can contribute to variety of other domains as well. You can contribute to design, documentation, research area, and a lot many things are there, right? So why should you contribute to open source? So these are some important points. With by contributing to open source, you really learn a lot. Like there are so many people, hundreds and thousands of people already contributing to that open source project, right? So when you contribute there, you get a lot of knowledge. You get to learn how the softwares how the softwares are actually developed in the industry, and how people maintain those projects. You learn how to write clean code, because so many people are contributing there, and they are really very experienced. So you get to learn a lot from them, and the whole community is there to help you when you have doubt, when you are stuck, right? And of course it add a lot of value to your resume if you have contributed to any open source project, and you have mentioned that in your resume, in your portfolio, and you have given that link as well, link to your PRs, link to your commits, right? Because like it helped the recruiter understand that you really have a great knowledge, because not everyone can contribute to open source projects. They are so big projects. You have to understand the existing code base, like not the whole code base of course, but at least you should have a good knowledge of how the project is working. And once you have contributed to the projects, open source project, people know that okay, you have some good knowledge, right? And it's a good way to give back to the community. It's a good way to volunteer as well. Now where should you contribute? So let me show you. Let's say I will explain you everything, how to make your first PR, how to contribute to any open source project with the help of one sample repository. Yeah, women who code GitHub. So I will try to contribute to this repository. So this is not like this is not an open source product or something. If you go to like existing open source projects, let's say you want to contribute to uh, Quarkus. This is also an open source project. So once you go to its GitHub, so you will see here are like over 1600 issues available, right? So from the issues section, you can put the label like good first issue or something, and that will filter the good first issue for you. and you can pick issues from here and you can start contributing to it, right? And there are, you can see there are like so many pull requests already existing. So let's do one thing. I will try to explain you how to make your pull request with the help of this project. Let's say this is the open source project to which you want to contribute. So step number one is you have to fork the project, okay, so that your copy of that project is created. Perfect. So the project has been, I have forked the project. Now you can see the URL is slightly different from what it was before. Like if you go here, so the original URL is this, like it is in this organization Women Who Code, and now it's in my profile. It's now available in my username, under my username, the mentorship program 3.0, this repository. Okay, so step number one, you always have to remember, if you are contributing to any project available on GitHub, step number one is you have to fork that project. Perfect. Now, so in open source projects you will see a lot of like contributing guidelines and all available. So as I said, like this is not like open source project, but I'm trying to explain you with the help of this project. The steps are all same. Okay, so like you can see from here, like the contributing guidelines are here. You can read that. Before contributing to any open source project, it's important to know, to understand that what are the things that the project maintainer want us to follow. Okay, after forking the project, what you have to do, you have forked it here. So you simply have to clone it in your local machine so that you can start contributing to that project from your local machine. So let's do one thing. I'm going to close this because we are done with it. So I'm going to clone it in desktop. You simply have to write git clone and you have to copy this URL, which paste this URL which you just copied. All right, now after cloning this repository, what you have to do is you have to move to that project. So for that, I will write cd the mentorship program 3.0. Now you are here in this project, right? Now what you want to do, like in open source project there are already issues available. So what I will do, if there are, let's say, no issues of your choice, you are not able to find a good first issue to contribute to get started, so you can create your own issue as well. So I'm writing here demo ignore because I don't want them to merge this. So let's say I want to create one issue, like adding resources for mentees. Okay, and you should add a brief description that what your issue is about and what problem it is solving. For now it's like a demo issue which I'm creating. So perfect. So I have created this issue, and if there are already existing issues like we just saw here, so you can always like pick up that issue. You can comment on that you want to contribute to that issue, you want to solve that issue, and like the project maintainers will like assign you, or they will guide you how to go ahead and solve that issue, right? So here what I did, I created issue, and I have already cloned the repository into my local machine. You just saw this, right? So if I go to my desktop now, I will see this project, the mentorship program 3.0. Now I want to go to the Soumya folder, like I was also a mentor over there. So in this folder, let's say I want to create a new folder named resources. Before that, this is like a very important thing that when you are contributing to an open source project, you should create your own branch. Like if you do git branch, so right now you are on the main branch, okay? And for creating branches, there are like simple commands for that. You have to write git branch, and you just have to write the name of the branch that you want to create. So I want to create a branch named resources. And now I will from right now I am at main branch. You just saw this. I want to check out to the branch which I just created, that is resources branch. Okay, so now you can see it's showing me here switched to branch resources. Perfect. So now I am on the resources branch. So I will make changes on this branch, and then I will push all these changes on the origin. Okay, and then from there I will make a PR. Just follow the steps that I am doing here, and things will be easy for you. Okay, so I am now on resources branch. I will go here and I will create a folder, resources, and inside this, let's say I want to add some resources for my mentees. Resources for mentees. So I will give some like meaningful links and all. For now, I'm just keeping this text file like only this much, resources for mentees. I will save it in the same resources folder over here. So I will say resources for mentees.txt. So like it's not must that you will do the same thing, depending upon what the project is and what piece of code you have to write, what are the changes that you have to make in your project. Everything will be different. Like I am doing this, but based on what the issue is, you will do different set of things, right? So after you have cloned the repository and you have created a separate branch, you checked out to that branch, you have made some changes, you added some file, you modified the content, and you are done. Like I am done with the like I did all the changes which I was supposed to do for this issue, adding resources for mentees, right? Now what I will do, you can check what are the changes you made with the help of git status command, which I showed you before as well. So they are saying that I added this new resources directory. So for adding this, I will say git add dot, and you already know these things I explained earlier. Then you have to use the commit command, git commit m, and I will write adding resources. This is the commit message. Okay, so you see here one file change, 4 insertions, and I created this file here. Perfect. Now I will say git push. I want to push to origin, and origin is of course this URL. Okay, this one, and the branch name is not master here. This is resources. Perfect. So I pushed some of the things on my branch. So you can see here, they are saying that resources branch had recent pushes less than a minute ago, right? So I will click on compare and pull request. You can see here the detail that like Samya want to push she want to push something from her branch resources to the main branch of Women Who Code mentorship program repository. So You don't have to write demo ignore in your PRs. I'm doing it because like right now I don't want them to merge this PR. Okay, so you can see here they tell you like what changes I did. So in the Somya directory, in the Somya folder, I created one resources folder, and inside that I created resources for mentees.txt, this file. All right, so I will, you can click on create pull request, or let's say if that is if your PR is in progress, like you have to make more commits, you have to make more changes, so you can just click on create draft pull request and click on that. So this pull request has been created, and you can check like I made one commit, right? And these are the files I changed. Okay, so this is this much simple. Like this project like right now it's the mentorship program repository. You can contribute to any open source project in the similar way. So I hope like with this workshop, these two things, these two very important things of GitHub are clear to you. Now I hope you can very easily push your projects on GitHub, and at the same time you can make PRs to already existing open source projects as well, right? So and one more thing that I want you all to do is like we just created this sample demo project, right? On my account. So just to check your knowledge, if you are able to make a PR, if you are able to contribute to open source projects or not, I'm going to create one assignment folder over here. Assignment folder. And inside this, I am going to create one txt file. Like I will create somya.txt, and make sure that this is an assignment for you. You have to like fork my project, clone into your machine as I did, and you have to make a PR on this project. Okay, and I will check that if you have got the things, if you have understood everything properly or not. In the assignments folder, you have to create a file like let's say your name is Rohan, so rohan.txt. If your name is Dheeraj, so dheeraj.txt, something like that. Okay, so I will create here somya.txt. Okay, I'm in downloads, sample demo project, assignment, and here I will create samya.txt. Perfect. And if I open up this project on terminal, and if I say git status, so they will show me that I added a new folder, assignment folder. So I'm going to push it on GitHub. You know these things: git add, git commit. You have to write the message. So I'm writing adding assignment folder. Perfect. And then you simply have to do git push origin, and the branch name is probably master, right? Yeah, perfect. So you can check the branch. Yeah, it's master. So now if I will click on refresh on that project, so this is here, demo for climb DTU. So you can see assignment folder is here. So make sure that you do this assignment, you make a PR on this project, on this repository, to check your knowledge if you are now able to make PRs efficiently or not. I will do one thing, I will add it here. Okay, I will give the link, I will try to provide the link. So Yes, like that was the demo for the GitHub part, how to push your projects on GitHub. And at the same time, we also learned that how you can contribute to existing open source projects, right? So yeah, if you talk about like what are the if there are some big open source project, there are like many contributors contributing to those projects, and obviously there are places where they discuss each and everything, right? Where they discuss about the issues, about enhancements that they will add to the project. So these are some platforms where they do the discussion, like Discord. You people are using Discord for this hackathon as well, right? So these are the platforms which they use for contributing to the project. You can ask your doubts over here on these platforms. And for like most of the open source project, they have the link to their uh, like platform, whether they are using Slack, Zulip, or something over here somewhere. So you can see the people discuss everything on Zulip. So you can click here, you can join the developers, and you can ask your doubts to them. Okay. So these are some examples of open source projects available. And these are some points which I always advise beginners to follow. Like before contributing to any project, you should check if the project is active or not, if it is well documented or not, are they having contribution guidelines, licenses or not, right? And these are some open source communities. You can check them out. They have many awesome projects available. And again, these are some important points. Before joining any community, you should check if they are transparent or not, if they are open for every type of contributions or not. You already know about these many open source initiative. There is Google Summer of Code, Google Script Summer of Code, and a lot many open source initiatives are there to help you understand open source better, right? So, if you are confused, how should you get started? So, there are literally a lot many things to start with. You can start with the design, outreach, research, documentation, testing. A lot many issues are there, right? So, what the open source flow is, you have to find a problem to solve. That is, you have to pick an issue from the repository of that project. You have to work on that issue, and then you have to submit your work, submit your PR, right? It's this much simple. And in the beginning, obviously everyone faces difficulties, so I would say start as early as possible, face the challenges, overcome them, and you will learn a lot while contributing to the open source projects. There are a lot of beginners in this, there are a lot of blockers in the beginning for beginners, but don't worry at all. Each one of us has already faced these difficulties, and we overcome these difficulties by like trying and contributing more. So the confidence obviously comes with time, and you should learn time management, like take baby steps, 1 hour a week, a month, or whatever is suitable for you, right? And you can start with documentation related issues if you feel that coding related issues are very difficult to get started. So these are some cool tools which I suggest for open source. You can go to this URL opensource.guide, and these are some repositories which you can contribute if you are a beginner. And this is the entire flow, how you have to do things. You have to fork the project as I did, you have to clone it into your machine, you have to find an issue, you have to work on that and push it on your on GitHub, and then obviously submit a PR. And in the whole process, make sure that you are communicating, discussing everything with the project maintainers and contributors out there. So, yes, in real open source, obviously you have the right to control your own destiny. You can like do as much as you want. Sky is the limit. Like go and contribute to the amazing open source projects out there. You will definitely learn a lot many things by contributing to them. And yes, obviously make sure that you do the assignment. You in that assignment folder, of the project I pushed on GitHub. Make sure to make a PR with your name.txt, and in that file make sure to write a short bio of yourself, right? So the assignment is also pretty easy. So this is these are the social handles of mine. You can find me on LinkedIn, on Twitter, and GitHub. So we have 10 like 5 to 10 minutes left, and we can definitely go ahead and check if people are asking any doubts or something. So yes. Yeah, I want the host to join in and help me in picking up the doubts and picking up the questions of the audience. Yeah, I assume like all the things are pretty much clear to everyone, like how to push the project on GitHub, how to make a PR, how to make pull request, right? These steps are really very simple. You just have to follow these steps. You just have to follow those simple commands as I did, and things are really very simple to do. And make sure that after this hackathon is over, I'm also here in the hackathon as a mentor for you people. You can ask me doubts related to your projects. You can ask me for help, like how you can make your project even better. And like I also have participated in way many hackathons, and obviously I will try my best to help you all, to help all the participants out there. So yeah, with that, I'm sure we are done. If we have no more questions, then we can definitely close the stream. And I obviously wish all the very best to all the participants like participating in this hackathon, and make your projects as awesome as you can make. Try to like solve the big problems in the society with your projects. This is very important. This will obviously and definitely give you an edge over other participants who are developing projects which are like just for fun. Because if you are really developing a project which is solving a real world problem, that then it really make a lot of sense, and it's important to work on those projects which are really doing something for the society, right? So yes, develop awesome projects, and I'm also there. I will join your Discord channel, and you can ask me your doubts anytime. So, and make sure after the hackathon you also push your project on GitHub. It's important to show everything to everyone, right? And GitHub is that platform. And apart from GitHub, like we have GitLab, Bitbucket, etc. So they also follow the same same commands and everything. Once you are familiar with GitHub, and then all other things will be really very easy for you to understand. So yes, Parnavi, I think we are done with this session. Do we have more questions?
I'm just looking at it. If anybody has any questions, they are free to ask. And I think it was a very good session. I was never into GitHub and all of this thing, but I think I will maybe start doing something now. It was very informative, and it was I mean, very insightful.
Yeah, thank you so much, Parnavi. I'm glad that you liked it. Yeah.
Okay, so I think there are no more questions or not any questions.
Yeah,
Uh,
definitely. And if you have any questions, I will love to answer them on Discord as well. I will be available there. Like we have 2 more days for this hackathon, right? I guess we have
mhm.
till Sunday. Yeah. So I will be there, and I will try my best to help you all. All the very best for the projects that you folks are developing. And yes, you people are like congratulations to the team who is like working so hard to make this hackathon successful. And Amrita is also doing really amazing work for this team, for this hackathon. So to the entire team of Climb DTU, congratulations for organizing this amazing hackathon. And thank you so much for having me here. Thank you so much.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you very much.
Thank you.